listening to Tassie Encounters Moments on Faith FM, and we're coming to you from Tasmania, right across Australia. Each weekday at 9 a.m, you can hear what the Bible says about past, current and future events. You can learn how to study the Bible more effectively. You can get to know who God is, why we're here and where we're going. And you can experience personal encounters with Jesus. I'm your host, Jason Cook, and today David Cherry is back with us, continuing our program on Tassie Encounters Moments for this week. It's titled The Coming Crisis. Welcome, David. It's good to have you back again.
Thank you. It's lovely to be back.
Yeah, awesome. So, David, yesterday we talked, I guess, in general terms about crises. I think that's the right word for plural of crises.
I think I said crises was probably wrong.
So we talked about crises, and we all face crises from time to time, and I think it's something that we can all relate to. And certainly I've been through my fair share of things in my life. So, and you said that we were going to look at a story in particular from the Bible relating to King Jehoshaphat.
Yeah, it's found in 2 Chronicles.
Tell us before we read it, who was King Jehoshaphat?
Well, you put me on the spot there. He was one of the good kings in Judah.
Yeah.
And
so basically he was the king of the Jews at that time.
Yeah, the capital of Jerusalem. And he was one in a line of many kings, and many of them weren't so good, but he was a good king. And the reason I say he was a good king is he believed in God.
He trusted in God.
He trusted in God,
yeah.
And we're going to see that he did make some mistakes. He wasn't perfect, but overall his life was a life where he believed in God, trusted in God, and God blessed him. So we're going to read just the introduction to this story today. So the overall title of this week is The Coming Crisis, because there's a crisis coming to all of us at some stage. We're going to break it into 4 points, 4 Ps, and today it's Jehoshaphat's problem.
Okay.
So what was his problem, or what was his crisis?
Yes.
So if you want to read for us, it's in 2 Chronicles chapter 20, and this is my favourite Old Testament story.
It is a good story, and this one I relate to because there's a special story I'm going to share soon.
So we'll read verse 1 and 2, and then after that, Jason's going to share a story of how he connected with this particular passage in his life during a crisis.
Sure. It says, and we're reading from the New Living Translation, 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 1 and 2 says, After this, the armies of the Moabites, the Ammonites, and some of the Meunites declared war on Jehoshaphat. Messengers came and told Jehoshaphat, A vast army from Edom is marching against you from beyond the Dead Sea. They are already at Hazazon Tamar. This was another name for En-Gedi. So
Jehoshaphat's problem, or his crisis, there's this great army, a combined forces army, is marching to his capital of his nation, and they've got one plan: to destroy them, to annihilate them, maybe to make them slaves or just kill them all. It's a pretty big crisis.
It is.
Huge crisis.
And the size of their armies would outnumber, I'm assuming here, the fighting people of Jehoshaphat.
The question we asked yesterday was, how does knowing God in a time of crisis help? And so as we go through this week, we're going to see how Jehoshaphat responded to this message that there was people coming to destroy him, his capital, his nation, and all his people, and how his connection with God helped him.
Interestingly, and this would have been at a time when they had a temple in Jerusalem as well, I assume. This would have been the first temple, would it, or after it had been rebuilt?
It still would have been Solomon's temple, I believe.
Solomon's temple, yeah. So they're wanting to protect that as well.
It was the centerpiece of their worship and their cultural experience. But we really want to bring this topic to a personal level this week. And so I'm going to get you to share now, Jason, how you connected with this particular story, before we even read the story, how you connected with this story in your time of crisis.
Well, for many people who have been following our program for a number of years, you may have heard me speak about my journey with stage 4 cancer. And in essence, that was pretty much a terminal diagnosis for me. And But the amazing thing was that prior to that diagnosis, 2 weeks prior, God seemed to manage to arrange me to present a study on this particular passage. Now, this was a week's worth of study that we were doing, and I got assigned one particular day of the week, and that particular day of the week was this particular story. It could have been any other day of the week that I was assigned, but I was assigned this one.
Nothing with God's by chance.
Yeah, that's it. And so about 2 weeks before ultimately I got the news about my stage 4 cancer, I was studying this passage and I was reading it, and ultimately, in hindsight, I now know that God was preparing me for the news that was to come. Now, for me, my battle was my battle with cancer, and it was effectively an unwinnable battle. You know, it was a diagnosis. I had cancer throughout my body and in the brain and everywhere. And so it wasn't looking good. And interestingly, you know, when we went to the doctor's office, the oncologist, we sat down with the oncologist and she explained the circumstances. Now, I actually explicitly told her I don't want a prognosis. Something taught me that my life is not limited by what a doctor says, but it's what God says. And so I actually said, look, I don't want to hear what the prognosis is. I want the diagnosis, not the prognosis. So anyway, she told us what the situation was, and you know, it was pretty serious. I wasn't aware. I had stage 3 cancer earlier for about 10 years before that. But when she told us this news, I knew it was serious, and my wife knew it was serious. And as she explained it to us, she questioned that we weren't reacting. You know, we weren't breaking down or crying or whatever. We were just sitting calmly and listening. And she said, "You do understand what I'm telling you?" Mm. Yes, we do. And my wife just calmly said, "We're believers, and we believe God's got it in his hands." And that's how it made a big difference. And this story, having prepared this study on this story, gave me the right framework and the right mental framework to know that this battle, which for me was unwinnable, but for God, he can do anything. And I had to learn to put my trust in him to deal with this. Now, here we are 7, 8 years later, and I'm still here. So God won that battle. God won that battle.
Praise the Lord.
And I had to keep trusting him that this is in your hands.
It's amazing that reading a story, a historical story, of how God moved in someone else's life in the past, gave you hope and courage and the ability to keep going without falling to pieces. And that's for me how knowing God and seeing how he works and knowing the stories in the Bible, that's how it blesses me too. So if we ask the question, does knowing God and reading the Bible make a difference in your life?
It made a huge difference for me.
Absolutely.
You know, I could face that huge challenge with a sense of peace. I'm not saying it was never hard. You know, I had to battle with my own mind at times, but the battle was between trusting God and letting the fear of what might have been, you know. So I had to consciously retell myself, no, you need to put your trust in God. You need to believe in those promises that he's given. You need to believe that he was preparing you ready for this, and you put your trust in him, and he will be trustworthy, and he'll come through.
And God always does come through. Sometimes the crisis is not averted.
That's right. He doesn't always take it away.
Yeah. But the ability to get through the crisis with God's strength and have that hope for the future just brings such incredible peace, and that's the blessing of the Bible and the presence of God for me.
And of course, you know, there are people who are Christians who also die of cancer, and that's hard to understand if they're real believers. But of course, we also have that understanding that he has the power to resurrect at the end time as well. So he does have the power to save, whether it's right now in this life or whether it's in the future life. we have that also to fall back on.
The greatest hope that we have is that because of Jesus' life and Jesus' death, which is a whole other topic we can get into another time, because of that, we do have the hope that even if we die in this life, which we all will at some stage, that Jesus will return. He will wake up those who've believed, and they will have eternal life. And that is the greatest hope that we have. Hope. Yeah. So I look at it, God's promises are a present reality as well as a future hope.
Absolutely.
And sometimes the present reality, there's a partial change in circumstances. Sometimes it's a full change. But there's always the future hope where everything will be made right completely and forever.
And to live with hope now improves our life because we have something more better to look forward to, and that actually changes our current circumstances. If we had no hope, we may as well die right now. You know?
And I think when people lose hope, that's when things get a lot worse. And I've experienced that in my life when I have had no hope. Not so good, but when I do have that hope in Jesus, well, what a blessing and what a peace that brings.
We better wrap up our program today, and we'll give our book offer away shortly, so stay tuned.
This program is made possible by the support of Adventist World Radio.
Our book offer for this week is Hope for Troubled Times, How to Thrive in a Shattered World by Mark Finley. Now, this book was written during the great pandemic that we recently experienced in our lives around the world, and but it's a great little book. And, you know, Mark Finley really unpacks how we can have a relationship with one who is larger than our fears, bigger than our worries, and greater than our anxieties. And we can have that relationship and walk with God by our side. And he really presents some really good practical tips as to how we can have that relationship and how we can actually have solutions to our current problems. So do text us in. Our code word for this week is TEM for Tassie Encounters Moments and the number 33. No spaces, just TEM33. Text that into 0488 880 891 to claim your free book offer. Now do join us again when tomorrow we're going to have a look at how we can prepare for crises. As we go out, this is Meredith James with The Goodness of God. May you encounter Jesus more today.
I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up till I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire. In darkest nights, you are close like no other. I've known you as a father, I've known you as a friend. I have lived in the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down and surrendered now, I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down and surrendered now, I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. I will sing of the goodness of God. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
This program has been made possible by the support of Adventist World Radio.